Welcome to Shegzi Computer Training School. I am creating a series of videos for the beginners. If you want to learn computer or if you don't know anything about computer, this video I am going to be creating here for you will help you. So this video is basically for beginners, and I like you to subscribe to and take advantage of the training to learn all you want to learn about computer. Okay, subscribe to my channels on Facebook, Shegzi Computer Training School, Shegzi Computer Training School. Also on YouTube, Shegzi Computer Training School. You can equally join our free online training on WhatsApp by requesting for the links. The training is totally free, and the number you make your request on 09022535320. Thank you, as we expect you on the training.
The next slide now. In this particular introductory class for the beginner, we are going to start from the beginning. What are the key moments that you are going to be learning in this video? Let's look at them quickly. We are going to be talking about the definition, computer components and their function, how the computers are connected, then types of computers by size, hardware, software, what are they, how do they communicate, and then what are the types of software that we have. Now let's get started. What is a computer? A computer is an electronic device that is capable of accepting raw facts. We call it data as input. Take note of the word input there, okay? Via the use of some input devices such as keyboard, mouse, scanner, light pen, and so many other, and then process the raw data by performing logical and arithmetic operation on the data and then generate outputs. Okay, so the key word that we have from the definition of computer is input, process, and then output. Then we talk about electronic device, meaning that your computer needs power to work. Whether direct power or AC current, definitely it has to be power to work. So if you have a letter, you want to write an application letter, you want to type it, you want to send a letter to your boyfriend, you want to send a chat, whatever you need to do before you start doing it, you need an input device to get it done. So, and the most common one that we're just going to narrow down to for the purpose of the training is a keyboard. Okay, your keyboard, your mouse is the mouse that I'm using right now to be able to underline this. These are all scanner. You have your certificates, and maybe you are being asked to send your certificate. They want it, you have it the hard copy in the house, but you need to send it to someone, the soft copy somewhere for a particular purpose. You need to scan it. Okay, you can scan with, you have different scanner. You can use your phone. If you have the scan software, the scanner software there, you can use a computer to also scan. As long as we are transforming that document from hard copy to a soft copy, that's you are inputting, you are using an input device to do that process. So that is example of input device. And then when it gets to computer, it will be processed, and then you have the output. You are going to see the example of both input and output device in a moment. So these are some of the common input devices. Let's look at the input device first. Okay, you have this a complete desktop computer. This is your mouse, and this is your keyboard. This is an input device. If I need to type something right now, I need to use the keyboard to do that, to input information inside this computer. Okay, so what we have here is something like this. You have this, let's say this is an input. It goes through to your processing, and then your processing is going to be output down here. So this is the process. Input device, you can be keyboard, you can have your scanner, you can have your mouse here, just like we have here, and then you go ahead and then it's going to be processed. By the time you are typing, there's a connection between all the input devices and the processing device. Okay, there's a connection. You use a cable. We have different type of cable. If you are going to connect the monitor, for example, if it's a desktop, to your CPU, this is your CPU, you are going to connect this monitor to this. We have a cable called VGA cable. It's a blue mount cable. I think I need to show you that cable in the next lesson. Okay, the VGA cable, you are going to use it to connect to, it has a blue head like this. Okay, and then it could be black. Anyway, it has pin. So it's a male mouth. You put it, this one, into the female mouth on the CPU, right? Then you have your keyboard. Your keyboard could be wireless. Okay, the technology now could be wired or wireless. If it's wireless, it could be PS2, or otherwise it could be USB. I believe you know a USB mount. Your phone is USB. So you can use the USB mount to connect also to your processing. So all the inputs are connected to your processing component, which is processing device. This guy has so many ports to take in the input devices to be connected to it, and then from it as well, it will process. Once the processing is done, then it can be output to your output device, so that whatever the input is doing, you are able to see it on the output device. So there are many ports here. We have a serial port, you have a USB port, we have an HDMI port. Okay, if you are connecting a projector, for example, to your CPU, it could either be through the VGA port or the HDMI port. In the next video, I'm going to show you both the VGA port, the HDMI port, and then also let you know the difference between them, because hardware now are being upgraded. Most of the hardware that we have in town now are being upgraded from VGA to HDMI. So that means if I want to connect monitor, I want to connect my I want to connect monitor, I want to connect a projector and co. If I don't have VGA on the VGA port, it may be difficult to connect for the latest technology now. However, there are VGA converter to be able to enable the whole system to be able to work with new technology. I will show you all of those stuff in the next video. For the purpose of this video, let's continue with those are the input devices. Okay, you put it in. It's used to put in the data to your processing and then process the output. Now, what about your output devices? I'll come back to processing device. Example of the output device, you have your speaker. Okay, is output. Remember when you are playing your favorite music song, you are hearing poop, 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 poop. The sound is coming out. That's coming out from the speaker. That's an output device. Okay, then you have also monitor. Okay, is an example of output device. Here you are able to see what you are typing. As you are typing on the keyboard with the input device, the processing component is processing, and then you are seeing the output here on the monitor. So what you have here is called a soft copy. Then we also have a printer. Okay, the printer is also part of an output device. Your printer, you can see the hard copy of what you have done here when you send it out of printer. That is also an output device. Next is your processing component. Okay, this is the man in the middle. Okay, in the middle of input and output, you have processing component. Well, I do tell people that this is a casing. When we talk about processing, okay, we're actually referring to CPU. This is the brain of the computer. It's a very small, tiny component inside this casing. However, a lot of people refer to this as processing device. They say this is your processing component. It's just a casing. Inside of the casing, we have so many components there. This is where you have your motherboard, you have some capacitor, you have IC, integrated circuit, you have your memory, and so you have the hard drive, and so many other devices here. So that is why when you talk about CPU, actually, this is the brain of the computer. This is the device that performs the processing. And this device, they are in various sizes and capacity. Remember, A child of 2 years old cannot perform some complex mathematics that a child or someone in senior secondary school will do. And likewise, someone in senior secondary school will not be able to perform some calculation or some job that somebody in the university will do. So the same thing with your processing device. It actually comes in different category, different capacity. So the question is this: most people ask me, how am I going to know which system to go for? I want to buy a system. How do I know the capacity of my system? This is one of the things you need to pay attention to be candid, not the size of the computer. You need to check what is the processing capacity of the system. Okay, we have a major two manufacturer of a CPU. I'm not going to really tell you which one is better. You have Intel, and then we have another one. Okay, so now I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to market for any one of them. So which one should you go for? Should I go for Intel processor? If it's Intel processor, what is the capacity? What size should I go for? If you have any question regarding that, you can just drop a message in the comment, or if you need an advice, you want to buy a system, please note you are going to buy yourself. What I do is just I can advise you on what to go for based on whatever you are going to use the system to do, because I think that's most important. If you are going to buy a system for a child just to be playing with it in the house, it's totally different from somebody who's going to be doing some graphic work on the system. So you need to consider a lot of things before you actually cash out for a computer in the market. So this processing CPU is of different grade, different. You have generation as well. You have 6th generation, you have 7th generation, you have 9th generation, you have 10th generation, even now. Okay, and they come in different core. So you can, maybe you've heard of dual core, you have heard of 4 cores, the CPU. So it actually depends on so many factors what you are going to buy. But take note, the higher the brain capacity, the more money you are going to pay as well for it. Now, other component that you need to look at, because I tell you, if you are going to buy a computer, first and foremost, check one, what's my CPU capacity? I look at that. What are the second thing I check? I check RAM. It's part of the component that you actually have inside the casing, whether a laptop or a desktop. So you check also, this is your RAM. Okay, we call it random access memory. This guy actually is part of what determines the speed of your computer. How many applications you can open at a time, your multitasking. It also retains your work when you are working temporarily on the system. I don't know if you have noticed sometimes when you open multiple applications on your system, you open CorelDRAW, for example, or you open Adobe Photoshop, you open this, you open Microsoft, you discover that your system could hang and will not respond again. At that moment, the system does not have the capacity to carry all the load that you are putting into it. So this one too is in different sizes. You can have 2 gig, you can have 4 gig, you can have 8 gig, you can have 32 gig, you can have 64 gig of RAM. Hey, the higher this guy, the better the performance of your system. Okay, so those are the factors that we consider. Then inside this casing as well, the third thing I tell people to look into when they are buying system, you look at CPU, then sorry, where's my mouse? Then the third thing that you have to look at, okay, you also want to consider your storage. Okay, storage device. Now we have different storage devices. You have your hard drive. So the size of your hard drive is the 500 gig. The storage device is actually meant to store information. So the size, okay, of your storage device determine how much of stuff that you can put in it before it tell you that it gets filled up. So that is also important depending on what you are using the system for. Okay, so that's what the component that basically I look into when I'm looking at the capacity of a system and what the system can do for me. So in this particular slide, we'll talk about the input devices. You know what they are. We'll talk about the processing devices, and then we have talk about output devices, and I've also mentioned other components that you have inside the CPU casing, which whether laptop, desktop, even your tablet, you all have all of these devices that we mentioned, but in the smaller sizes in those other devices. Okay, Now, let's look at the unit of measurement in computer. The unit of measuring memory that I just talked about, the RAM, the drives, and some other component is bytes. Okay? A byte is the amount of computer space required to store one character of information. So hence we have what you call kilobytes, you have megabytes. Kilobyte is 10 raised to power 3, megabyte is 10 raised to power 6, gigabyte 10 raised to power 9, and then you have terabyte, which is 10 raised to power 12. We have other bytes, but for the purpose of this class, I just want to concentrate on this. Now, let's say, for example, you want to send a file. You want to scan your passport. Remember, you use an input device called scanner to scan. And you are asked that, hey, you are filling a form online. And then you were told that your size of document should not go beyond 10 kilobytes. Why would they say 10 kilobytes? Come on, why not say 10 megabytes for the file? They want to say 10 KB because let's say it's an application and you have 10,000 people applying for it. And you know, the server, or let me say their computer, what they have there, the size of the drive, the storage device on the server is probably 1 terabyte. Now, if they have 1 terabyte and then you alone, you scan your passport and your passport is 10 MB. Now, you can look at that by yourself. How many people will be able to upload their passport before this 1 terabyte will be filled up? So that is exactly what happened. That means the smaller the size of the document or the file, the better, okay, your storage maximize, the better you are going to maximize your storage capacity. So that's the reason why sometimes they will tell you that, oh, your file should not go beyond this size of bytes. If you are going to upload it, it must not go beyond this. Why? Because they want to ensure that the storage is not filled up quickly and they are not able to use it for other things. So that's what that is all about. The kilobyte is the smallest size in terms of measurement, okay, in computer. So your document, you can always check. By the time we get to Microsoft, I'll show you how you can check the size of your document. So when you scan any document as well, you can actually check what's the size of this document. If it's too big, there's also a way to reduce the size of the document without compromising the quality, because sometimes when it comes to image, the higher the size, sometimes the better, okay, the resolution, the clarity of that image. So if you reduce it too much, it can also make it to blur. So but there's a way to go around all of those without compromising the quality of the picture. You can still have your size to be normal, okay. Then you have megabyte, 10 raised to power 6. Then you have gigabyte. Usually your hard drive is measured in gigabytes. So you can have a system that has a storage that is either SSD, you know, we talk about storage, or HDD. So I'm going to be telling you the difference between those ones as we go on. HDD has to do with your hard disk drive, while SSD has to do with solid state drive. So this is a latest technology. This happened to be the old technology. So this is a latest technology when it comes to the technology behind your storage device, the hard drive in particular. So if you are buying, you can see 500 gig, you can see hard drive that is 1 terabyte. And I believe you agree with me that a system with 1 terabyte or storage device is bigger and will accommodate more file than the one that is 500 gigabyte. Why? Because the gigabyte is 10 raised to power what? 10 raised to power 12. Why your terabyte, the gigabyte is 10 raised to power 9, while your terabyte is 10 raised to power 12. So depending if you're into photography, you're into videography, definitely you're going to need higher storage device because you don't want to be deleting files. So you might want to go for a terabyte system, okay, rather than gigabyte. So that being said, now let's look at computer by size. We have a desktop computer. Why? Because you put it on your desk, right? Then you have a laptop, and then you have your palm top. Now, let me quickly say this, okay? This is just based on the size. It has nothing to do with the capacity of the system. As a matter of fact, your palm top might have a higher processing capacity, higher RAM, and higher storage device than a desktop that is big, occupy your room, but the component inside are not really big like that. So that is just it. So you need to actually pay attention more to the component, the size of the component rather than physical size. Now, Having said that, the desktop, you can, if you have a desktop in your office or your home, you are going out, you can't take it along. That's the problem. However, your laptop, you can put it on your lap and work. You can be in a car, you can be in a taxi, you can be traveling and work with your laptop. The same thing with PalmTop. You cannot do that with your desktop. So this has nothing to do with that. Then when we're talking about the input and output devices, let me point it out here that this is your output in the monitor for the desktop. This is your output device, okay? Your monitor. For the laptop, this is the monitor. So everything you have here on your desktop, you actually have it also with your laptop. You have the screen, which is your output device. You have the screen, output device. You have the keyboard, okay? Input device. Then you have your keyboard here, input device. You have the mouse. Then look at it. You have the mouse, okay? You have the left and the right click. You have the same on your mouse here for the laptop, for the desktop. So everything is the same. This is your physical keyboard. On the PalmTop, some of them have this, some of them have the soft keyboard. When you want to type, your mobile phone, for example, you want to send SMS or you want to chat, maybe your WhatsApp or any other application like that you want to chat with. By the time you start to try to start to chat, what happens? The keyboard will pop out. So all the component that you have in one, you also have it in other. Okay, the difference is the size. I talk about the CPU, the RAM. You have all of them also inside your laptop. They are behind the keyboard here. If you open it up, you see all the components in a smaller size, but not in a smaller capacity. Please take note of that. So we've talked about the hardware. We've seen some of the hardware, examples of the computer hardware. Hardwares are the devices you can touch, you can feel in your computer. Okay, you can keyboard, mouse, casing, you can touch them, you can feel them. Then you have the software. The software are the ones that are there, but you cannot see. Software is being defined as a collection of computer programs and related data that provide the instruction for telling the computer what to do and how to do it. So that's what software does. It gives an instruction. You program it. We have programmer, computer scientists that develop program, that write program to give instruction. What should computer do? How should it do it? That's what software is all about. So, and it's basically divided into two main types. We have system software as well as application software. Now, what is a system software? System software is a software that is being designed by a manufacturer to operate and control the computer hardware. And secondly, system software provide a platform for the running of application software. It also serves as an interface between the computer hardware and the computer user. So we look at some examples of system software, which is otherwise known as operating system. You have Windows operating system, they are system software. So remember, if you buy a laptop, it must come with an operating system, a system software. Just like when you go out to buy your phone will come with an operating system called mobile operating system. It could be Android, it could be Apple operating system, but it must come with operating, because without the operating system, all the hardware, the components inside the computer will not be able to communicate. One. Then secondly, there is no way you can install other software, which is referred to as application software, on them, on the system for you to work with that. So the operating system is like the foundation, the baseline that allow the hardware, the component inside the system, inside the mobile phone, inside the PalmTop to be able to communicate, and also provide you a platform for installing or running every other software, which is now referred to as application software. I'm going to talk about that in the next slide. So the system software, all the Windows operating system, Windows 10, Windows 11, they are referred to as system software. Mac OS, they are all, system software called operating system. They are the baseline. Without them on any system, you can't use the system. The system is useless without the system software. Then from there, we now talk about application software. Application software, like I said earlier on, they are designed to help the user perform specific tasks, like you want to create office, you want to edit document, graphic design, and so on. For example, now Microsoft Office package, all these components, they are application software. Remember, if your system comes with Windows 11 or Windows 10, in most cases it might not come with Microsoft Office. If it comes with it, it might come with a trial version, so you now need to buy and install all this. So that's what happened. The baseline is there. They are not going to charge you. If you are buying a system, you buy it with operating system. But to run application software, you go online to download, or you go ahead and buy to have them. So Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, projects, this is your Drive, okay, Excel, Outlook, Access, Notebook. All these are application software that you have to install them on the system software. Then you have a graphic software as well, Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, CorelDRAW, and then some other software. These are all for graphic. All of them individual. Each of them, they are all application software. Then you have browser. These are all application software. So any software, that is designed to help you to perform a specific task is an application software. Just like you pick your phone, maybe you open your phone, you go straight to Google Play Store. From Google Play Store, you download, hey, I need a Bible app. That Bible app you are downloading help you to study the Word of God. That is an application software. Hey, you go there again, I need a calculator. Okay, that's an application. I need a notepad. I want to make a note of some of my tasks that I need to do. That is an application software. So every other software you are downloading, remember you already have an Android OS. That's the baseline. Now you go to the Play Store and downloading some other software, application software to run on your system. So what we are going to be doing after this particular video is to pick each of different applications that you may want to learn, and then we are going to develop training. I'm going to develop videos about them. You just let me know which application that probably you want to learn first, then we'll go ahead and I'll create a video for you about them. So but this is the background, this is the baseline for everyone that is a beginner into a computer, a journey into tech. So this is where it all begins from, so you to have a better understanding of it. So like I said, so at Flourish Computer, we do ICT and computer training for beginner, ICT and computer training for employee and job seeker, get started with web design with zero coding knowledge, computer networking, computer engineering, cyber security, and digital marketing. Any of this area that you want us to touch, please drop a comment in the comment section. And also go ahead and you can drop also a chat for me on the WhatsApp. And then most importantly, remember to subscribe to my channel. And then do well to share this video with others. And if you have any question, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.